Welcome everyone, and thanks for playing the Grand National Novice Pairs. Hope you had an enjoyable time. I'm joined here by Renee Cooper. She's a fantastic player. She has represented Australian girls, Australian mixed, Australian youth. She's won silver medals in a World Girls Championship. Welcome, Renee.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So today what we're actually going to do is just pick out a few boards that we're really interested in and sort of deep dive into those. But we have gone through all the boards and you can check that out in another video if you like. Anyway, let's get straight into board number 1. How do you reckon you'd take this one?
Okay. So first seat nil, I'm definitely preempting thoroughly as North. I'd probably open 4 diamonds on that. I think 4 diamonds is my bid. I think it's with a 7-4, it's just way too good for 3 diamonds. But usually I require an 8-card suit unless I'm favorable to open 5. So I think 4 diamonds as North would be my choice, particularly with a really nice suit quality. So I think I'd probably go 4 diamonds. East would just pass. Now South's got a bit of an issue. Again, I'd probably pass at these colors. Vulnerable, I'd be tempted to give it a little raise because my partner's, again, probably going to have a better hand. But I'd probably just pass. And then, again, now West has a problem as well because they've got a shortage in diamonds. So it's honestly, I think I'd probably, as West, you're a little bit stuffed. You kind of want to do a takeout double, but looks like partner's going to bid clubs, so you can't really do that. I might just bid 4 hearts and suck it up, particularly with my bad spade pips. I think that's probably what I go for. I've got longer hearts. I've got better quality hearts. But I kind of think I have to do something here with a 6-5 in the majors. So yeah, I think it'd probably go 4 diamonds, pass, double. 4 hearts, pass, and I would definitely give that a tickle as South. So I think I'd get into 4 hearts doubled East West. How about you, Pete? What do you think?
This is a super interesting one to start off with. I really like the 4 diamond opening bid. With extra shape, 7-4 with a side 4-card suit, not vulnerable. I reckon 4 diamonds is great. I do think a lot of people might just open 3 diamonds, and we'll talk about that one later. And it's important that preempts work. They make you guess a lot, so I love preempting. Here, East should pass. And West, they got a decent hand, but bidding 5 diamonds is a lot. And we've got good defensive cards. I don't think the opponents are making anything, so I like passing with the South hand. And the West hand is pretty weak, but extremely distributional. And I really try and stretch when I've got a shortage in the opponent's suit to try and find a bid. I think I would bid 4 hearts. We've got fantastic shape. And this is sort of a who knows what would happen. And yeah, I think your auction is a really good one. If North opened 3 diamonds, which I suspect lots of people would bid, it would go 3 diamonds. East should still pass. South now has an interesting choice. They're verging on considering 3 no trumps, but I just don't see where you're getting 9 tricks. So you might get 7 diamond tricks and your ace of hearts, but that's with partner already having like king, queen, jack of diamonds. So I reckon passing 3 diamonds would be good. And West has the same problem again. And
yeah, whether you want to bid 4 diamonds or you want to just bid 3 hearts. I'd probably bid 3 hearts on that auction. Again, simply because like if I bid 4 diamonds, my partner's probably going to be off to the races. They're not going to pick me as a 7 count, right? They're going to think that if I'm pushing a game, I'm going to have more points. I need to still bid, but I'm probably still going the 3 heart route rather than bidding 4 diamonds. Yeah, and also my spade pip's really bad. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, this hand is just like an absolute nightmare. So really tough one to start off with. But I would be bidding on the West hand. You've only got 7 points, but again, that shape is just so good, both majors. I'd try and come up with a bid. I think 3 hearts is all right.
Seems.
Moving on to board number 10. Here, East has an 11 count. I got a 5-card spade suit. I am vulnerable. I would be passing this, but this depends on partnership style for whether you open it or not. I'm a pretty aggressive opener when I'm not vulnerable, but would you open this East hand?
I'd open a spade.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just an optimist.
Like, it's pretty good. I think it's right on the line. So
Yeah, like ace king king. I like. I kind of wish I had a 10, some tens around, but yeah. I'm an optimist.
yeah.
But yeah, makes sense. I think it's on the line.
If East opens a spade, or if they pass, what would you do with the South hand?
Oh, I'm vulnerable, so my preempt decisions does depend on the vulnerability and the seat here. So there's a few reasons. I'd open three clubs here or bid three clubs. There's a few reasons here. One, I'm vulnerable. So again, I should be a sound preempt here. And secondly, I'm second seat. So that should be one of the most conservative preempting positions. It's equally likely that I'm going to be preempting partner as it is that I'm going to be preempting my left-hand opponent. So you don't want to be preempting here on any old garbage. It should be a sound bid. That being said, I have really lovely clubs and I have a void diamond. I'd be a little bit concerned that we might be making four major, and I've been preempting three clubs, and my partner with, some nice looking 5-card suit goes, oh, it's very unlikely that we'll have a fit there. But I still think that three clubs just describes my hand really well. So yeah, I'm a three clubber. How about you?
Yeah, it feels like I'd bid three clubs, but like having both of those majors in the void, it's going to be hard for partner to evaluate what to do over this hand, but so be it. We've got good intermediates, Queen, Jack, 10, 9. I would bid three clubs, but it's there's some awkwardness to it, that's for sure. But let's say that the auction starts either pass three clubs or a spade three clubs. If it goes a spade three clubs, I think the West hand should just be jumping to four spades.
Yep.
If it goes past three clubs, would you be bidding with the West hand? And if so, what?
Oh no. I mean, oh, look. My partner's a past hand. I'm vulnerable. It's dishing up on whether I'm concerned. The concern here is that if I bid three hearts, my left-hand opponent now has a penalty double. So if it is something like left-hand opponent's just got Queen, fifth heart and some random assortment of cards, they can get me very easily. I've got lots of losers. I'm very flat, and I've got a nice heart suit, but that's pretty much all that's going for me. I'm balanced as well. I'd probably pass. I think that if my partner's got a nice hand in the pass out seat, they can come back in with a takeout double, or they can bid. But I think that if I bid three hearts here, it's just, even if my left-hand opponent's got some random flat 16 count and just, carts me out for a number, where are my tricks coming from here? So yeah, I'm a passer, but I don't like it.
Yeah,
not with that heart suit.
I feel like it's probably a pass. It's important to remember that if partner has a very appropriate hand, they can still bid again as a passed hand, which might still allow you to find game when it was right, but keep you out of trouble when it's not. But definitely pretty awkward. So East-West could get to four spades, which goes down basically because the opponent's cross-ruff you, which doesn't work well on the hand, but isn't terrible. Or you might be defending three clubs as a couple of spots. Moving on to board number 11, there's a couple of interesting choices here. So number one, would you bid anything on the South hand?
I'm opening a club. I've got two bullets and a 7-card suit. Sorry, two aces and a 7-card suit. I hate that I'm flat. I hate that all my points are not in my 7-card suit. But I can't justify passing it either. It's unfavorable. First seat nil. I'm a one club opening. I don't like three clubs because I've got as I said before, I've got all of my points outside my suit. And three clubs is just going to give the wrong impression about my hand. But I can't justify passing there either. I'm a club opener. How about you?
Yeah, I would open a club, but I do have sympathy for pass, not so much sympathy for three clubs. So then West has this really awkward dilemma. So first of all, if it was a pass by South, what would you do with the West hand? Would you open 2 clubs or would you open a spade?
I'd open a spade. Just because I've got a like if I'm a 5-3-0-5, I'm probably 2 clubbing it. But with a void heart, I think that it's way more likely that my opponents are going to be bidding hearts here. You know, my left hand opponent can do a takeout double. My left hand opponent can bid 2 hearts. Right, my right hand opponent can be bidding hearts at some point. I think with a void in the other major, it's far too likely that I'm going to be able to come back in here, and that my opponents are going to save me. But at the same time, I think 2 clubs, opening 2 clubs here, again, because the opponents likely have a lot of hearts, I'm not going to be able to get this hand across. You know, if I close 2 clubs, 2 hearts past 3 hearts, trying to get across this 5-5 is difficult. Whereas if I start with a spade, at least I've got one of my suits out the way.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I like opening a spade. I'm pretty hesitant to open 2 clubs on 2 suited hands, just because if you try and plan out the auction, it's going to get really awkward to try and show all your suits appropriately a lot of the time. It's not too bad when you're starting with 2 spades as your first suit, but it can still get pretty awkward. Also, when you're quite distributional, it's really unlikely that the opponents are passing you out at the 1 level. It just doesn't really happen. Either your partner's got points or your opponents do, and there's also shape about. So I'm a 1 spade bidder. If South had opened 1 club instead, you probably want to start with a double and bid spades. You're too good for just a 1 spade overcall. Now, let's say it goes past a spade. North has a lot of distribution, but no real points, so it would probably pass. What would you do with the East hand?
Oh, whew. Okay, so pass a spade, pass to me. I like my hand. I like my hand a lot. I'd probably push this up into an invite just because I got a 6-4. I like 6-4s. But like, I don't think that if I show this as a 6-9 hand, it's ever going to be like partner's never going to pick me as this. I can be a balanced 6 count, and instead I've got this rock crusher of a 9 count with a 6-4. So I'm showing this as an invite. I wouldn't show it as a game force because I've got the stiff king of clubs. So if I had something like king x of diamonds and a stiff club instead, I'd probably game force it. But yeah, I think this is solidly in the invite category. How about you?
Yeah, I think inviting on this is appropriate. If you do show your invitational raise of spades, I would be off to the races with the West hand and just trying to bid slam. And slam's actually a really good contract. You are missing 2 aces, but that's not the issue. The main issue is that North has a void club. And they're unlikely to find it straight away, but they get time to try a few different things, and they might be able to navigate that one. So I think ending up in 6 spades going down 1 is entirely sensible on the East-West cards. If the South hand opened a club, you might get sort of jammed out and not be able to get yourself to 6 after that opening. You'd start with like a club, double, North would pass, and East might jump to 4 hearts or something. You'd be happy and sad with the West hand. Your partner's shown some points, but this auction feels pretty awful, and you'd probably just try bidding 4 spades, and that might be where the auction ends.
Probably with your life flashing before your eyes too. Just like, what have I done? Oh no.
What do you think about board 14?
Okay, so we start as East. Okay, so I'm definitely opening East. I think 3 clubs here is pretty normal. First seat, nil. I'm a little bit worried that my partner isn't going to pick me as this good a hand, but I've got a stiff spade. So there's plenty of hands that, again, remember that other hand that we had where we had 3-3 in the majors and we were a bit worried? Yeah, I'm a little worried we're going to miss a heart fit, but we're definitely not missing a spade fit. So I want to try and destructively interfere with my opponent's potential spade game. And I think that the advantages of that well overweigh the fact that my partner might not pick me as this good a hand at these colors. So again, all this stuff comes down to vulnerability and where you're sitting, what seat you're sitting in. So I'm going to open 3 clubs as East. As South, I'm just going to pass. Granted, you have nice shape, but you've got a bad long suit and you've only got a doubleton club. Be more tempted to do something if I was a 4-2-6-1, because again, if I have shortness in my opponent's suit, it's sort of important I do something. But here with a doubleton club, I'm just passing. Now, West has a big problem because they have a huge hand. There's some nice conventions here that some various people play. I'd definitely be pushing on. The question is what you need from partner to be making slam. So in order to make slam, I need them to have ace seventh club and a stiff spade would definitely work. A seventh club and the ace of spades would work. A seventh club and a king of spades would work. So I think there's too many hands here that slam is going to be very, very playable on, that my partner could very easily hold. So I'm not sure how people go about their slam bidding auctions after a preempt. Again, there's some people that play some more complex system conventions. If there was keycard, I'd always, whenever I'm keycarding in a minor, I always consider, okay, what answer am I going to be getting from my partner? And is that going to be too high? So from here, if you play 30-41, I'm going to need my partner to have at least one ace. So if I'm keycarding and they're bidding 5 diamonds, then I'm fine. I'm already, we're too high to play 5 clubs, but I'm happy to be in slam. If you play 14-30, it might be a little bit more awkward. But I still think that it's likely my partner's going to have the ace of clubs. So I'd be, however your partnership agreement is, I'd be pushing towards looking to slam. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. It really depends on your partnership methods of what you can actually do here. It also depends on your preemptive styles. If you are hyper-aggressive preempters, you'd probably just try 3-no trump with the West hand. But I think looking for slams pretty decent. And if you can't investigate it, maybe you just bid it anyway. I think 3 clubs, 6 clubs is a reasonable auction. Doesn't give the opponents much space if you can't find a good bid.
Yeah, makes them guess as well. Like with ace, king, queen, X of hearts, you could easily be pitching away a couple of spade losers if they don't cash them out to begin with.
Okay, moving on to board number 25. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I start with North. This is touch and go. So first seat favourable. I'm disinclined to open this a week 2, because I've seen my first seat favourable week 2s before. So again, remember both me and Pete have said that our preempting style varies wildly based on seat and based on vulnerability. First seat favourable is one of the most aggressive ones you can find because your opponents are vulnerable. So if they're bidding a game, they're getting 600, they're getting 620. We're not vulnerable, so I can go 3 off in something and it still is a good board if they're making game. And I'm preempting both of my opponents and only one of my partners. So there's like a 2-to-1 ratio of whether my preempt is preempting someone with values. So I look at this hand and I go, I've actually got a really, if I was, first seat unfavorable, I don't mind showing this as like a week 2 or something. But first seat favorable, I'm just too good. That range has slid right down, and this is better than the best week 2 I can have in that scenario. So I'd open this hand a spade. Another thing that's sort of interesting about these hands is that there's always an overlap, that there are hands that, like, when you're looking at your preempts versus your hands that you're opening on, there should never be a hand that's, it's too good for a preempt, but it's not good enough for an opening. There's some hands that overlap that people go, do you open this as a preempt or do you open this as an opening? But there should never be like, I'm too good for a preempt, not good enough for an opening, so I'll just pass. That's not a gap there, at least for me. So I'd open North as a spade. Again, this is just because of the vulnerability. So I think it'd go a spade, pass, and South would be absolutely off to the races. So I'm not sure who here plays basic standard versus 2/1. But I definitely bid 2 hearts here as South. West would just pass. North would bid 2 spades, pass. South, I'd now bid 3 diamonds, and no matter what's like what system you play, that's definitely game forcing. The reason I don't raise spades here is that I generally, when we bid 2 spades, it can just be the minimum hand. My weak hands go through 2 spades, so I'm not promising a 6-card spade suit. If I've just got a 5-3, 3-2, weak no trump, I'd bid 2, and when a spade 2 hearts, I'd just bid 2 spades here to show a non-forward going hand. So as South, we're not sure that we have a fit yet, so I bid 3 diamonds. Now North should bid 3 spades to say, actually, partner, I've got spades. And again, as South, I would now be going the slamming route, so I'd be pushing towards slam. How about you, Pete? What do you?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
So yeah, I like that option. So after 3 spades, I just bid 4 no trumps and bid slam. The South hand's fantastic. Another sort of reason why a 2 spade bid might only show 5 is, imagine a hand with 5 spades and 4 clubs in the North hand. If they bid 1 spade and your partner bids 2 hearts, some people bid 3 clubs, but that really should show extras. That should be committing to a game forcing auction. So if you do that, you shouldn't be bidding 3 clubs with just those minimum hands. And you want to just tell partner that your minimum by just repeating your suit. You can often untangle it a bit later. But yeah, I think North-South should find their way to 6 on this hand. But definitely an interesting one.